sukrtam karmani lokasya srjati prabhuh karma-phala-samyogam pravavate pravartate. Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is not responsible for anyone's activity. He does not create. He does not say that you act in this way. Not exactly, he does not say. He says that you act in this way, but the living entity, out of his individual independence, sometimes or always, so long he is cognizant, he does not carry out the orders of him. Therefore, he is responsible for his own work. Although the sanction is there by the Lord, still the Lord is not responsible for his work. Na kartrtvam na karmani lokasya srjati prabhuh na karma-phala-samyogam svabhavas pravartate. Svabhava means his own nature. We are accustomed to the three modes of nature. Some of us are under the spell of the modes of goodness, and some of us under the spell of the modes of passion, and some of us are in the modes of ignorance. So according to our own position in relationship with the modes of nature, we create our world. Nadatte kasyacit papam. Nadatte kasyacit papam. Caiva sukrtam vibhuh. Ajnanenavrtam. Jnanam. Tena muhyanti jantavah. Now here, everyone is addressed as jantu. Jantu means animal. Of course, in logic also, human being is called rational animal. They are also they are classified amongst the animals, but they are called rational animals. So here also in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says jantavah. Jantavah is the plural number of jantu. Jantu means animal. So, nadatte kasyacit papam. Somebody is engaged in the activities of sinful activities, but he is not induced by the Lord that he should be engaged in sinful activities. Similarly, somebody is engaged in virtuous activities. That virtuous activity is according to his own association with the modes of material nature. Ajnanenavrtam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavah. But in this material world, either in the modes of ignorance, or in the modes of passion, or in the modes of goodness, they are all total, sum total is ignorance. Sum total, even a man is in the modes of goodness, that is also considered as ignorance. Because real knowledge is to know his relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is real knowledge. Unless one is elevated to that position, that what is his relation with the Supreme Lord, then all his so-called knowledge is also understood as ignorance. Just like at the present moment, not present moment always people are engaged in the matter of economic development for sense gratification. But that is also ignorance. That is also ignorance. Because advancement of economic development, there is a nice song by Vaishnava. He says that Jaravidya sab mayar vibhuh. Jaravidya means the material advancement of knowledge is a manifestation of this illusory energy. The illusory energy manifests herself in different ways, and that is called material advancement of knowledge. The material advancement of knowledge means we are becoming more and more illusion. Just like today, one of our students, he had been to some doctor for business. He had some talks with him. So when the student says that we believe in personal God, then the doctor answered that, we believe, the world believes 700 years before like that. Now people have advanced so far that they cannot believe in the personality of God. Now, people think that they have made very much advance in the material science. Well, actually, if we scrutinizely study how much advancement they have made, then we can know that practically we have been more illusioned than we have made advance. Now, 700 years before, people were dying. Death was there. So, has the advancement of material science during the 700 years has stopped death? No, that is not so. People were suffering from diseases 700 years before, then has the material science so much advanced stopped diseases? No. People were embarrassed with increase of population. Has that been stopped? No. People are embarrassed with so many death rates. Has that been stopped? No, that is not. Now, 700 years before, the sun was rising on the eastern side. Has the material science stopped the sun rising on the eastern side? Has it gone to the western side? No. Then what is this advancement? Simply defying the existence of God, is that the advancement of knowledge? If we materially calculate that practically the major questions which are embarrassing us, we are embarrassed with the material miseries of life. That has not been solved. The major questions have been set aside simply by thinking that there is no God, we are God, where science is everything. Do you think that is advancement of knowledge? No. So therefore, ajnanenavrtam jnanam. This sort of advancement of knowledge in the material science is also another type of ignorance. The Lord says, ajnanenavrtam jnanam. Real knowledge is now covered. Real knowledge being covered by niscience, ajnanena, tena muhyanti jantavah. Therefore they are actually perplexed. By the name of so-called advancement of knowledge, the whole population of the world, they are now perplexed. If we do not go into the details, but any sane man will admit that we are not advancing. Actually, we are degraded in so many ways. Jnanena tu tad ajnanam jesham nasita atmanah tesham aditya-vaj jnanam prakashayati tatparam. Tatparam. This tatparam word is very significant. Tatparam means in relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is called tatparam. That knowledge is real knowledge. Jnanena, by spiritual advancement of knowledge, when you are advancing in spiritual advancement of knowledge or Krishna consciousness, then this ajnana or ignorance that I am the product of this material world and therefore identifying myself with this body extensively and I would say centrally also. When we are not so much advanced, we think of my body only, but when we are very much advanced in the material science, we think extensively for others also to be in that category of knowledge. So, jnanena tu ajnanam jesham nasita atmanah. Any person who has advanced in his spiritual knowledge, Krishna consciousness, then he, that covering of material knowledge is dissipated. How? Tesham aditya-vaj jnanam, just like sun rising, the darkness of the night at once dissipated. Similarly, when we advance in Krishna consciousness, spiritual knowledge, then our material conception of life is at once dissipated. Tad-buddhya tad-atmana tad-atmana tad-nishtha tad-parayana gachanti apunaravitti jnana nidhita kalmasa. If actually we can advance in the spiritual knowledge of Krishna consciousness, then tad-buddha, by that intelligence, tad-atmana, being identified with Krishna, tad-nishtha, having faith, good faith, tad-parayana, and just surrendered soul to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, gachanti apunaravitti, then the result will be that after leaving this body, he is not coming back again. Punaravitti means this repeated birth and death is stopped altogether. Gachanti apunaravitti, gachanti means he goes to that place where from he hasn't got to return back. Gachanti punaravitti, punaravitti, jnana nidhita kalmasa. How that position can be attained? That jnana nidhita kalmasa. Kalmasa means reactions of sinful activities. That is called kalmasa. When reactions of sinful activities has been washed completely, then by that knowledge, by enhancement of spiritual knowledge, of Krishna consciousness, we are eligible now to enter into the kingdom of God, from where we need not come back again. Vidya vinay sampanne brahmane gavi hastine suni caiva sapake cha pandita samadarshina. When one is actually advanced in spiritual knowledge, he is in transcendental position. In transcendental position, he is called Pandita, or the real learned man. And what is that real learned man? How does he visualize this phenomenal world? The Lord says that Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastine. When one is in the transcendental position, then he sees equally everyone, every living entity. How is that? The Vidya vinaya sampanne brahman, a learned Brahmin, a learned intelligent man who is very advanced in material academical knowledge, vidya sampanne, and is very gentle and cultured, such an intelligent man, vidya sampanne, brahmani, gavi, a cow, hastini, an elephant, and suni means dog, and papake, and the dog eater. There is a class who eat dog eater. The pandita samadarshana, one who is in the transcendental position, he does not discriminate in that way, because he understands that they are different living entities and a different dress only. But he sees, visualizes the spiritual identity, and he has nothing to do with their activities. He is in transcendental position and he is concerned with the Krishna consciousness in his activities. He becomes careless with the activities of this world. Just like in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author says that in this material world, which is illusion, our the division, that this is good, this is bad, these are all mental speculation only. In the higher state, they see that in the material bondage, nobody is in goodness. Everyone is in trouble. So, this material calculation, that this is good, this is bad, and this is happy, and this is miserable, in the transcendental position, they think that they are all equal. Ihaivatai jitasarga jishang samme sthita mana. Now, one who is situated in such transcendental position of mind, then ihaivatai jitasarga, then in this very body, he has conquered rebirth. He has conquered rebirth. The whole position is that we want to stop rebirth in this material world. Now, there is a story in the Ramayana. In the Ramayana there is a story when Maharaj Dasarath was the father of Lord Rama. When Rama was a boy, say about 10 years, 12 years old, 15 or 16 years old, he was simply a boy. Now one sage, his name is his very famous sage, he came to Maharaj Dasarath asking the help of Ramchandra for killing one demon in the forest. Because the sages used to remain in forest, there that demon was creating some disturbance. So he approached the king. King is the lord of both the city and the forest. So he prayed that please send your son and help me. Now, at that time, the king inquired from that sage, Ohistat punarjanma jaya. Now, just like in our worldly affairs, we, for gentleman's etiquette, we ask, how are you? How things are going on? Now here, the king was asking the sage, Ohistam jat tat punarjanma jayaya. You have become mendicant, you have become sage, just to conquer over death. Conquer over death. Ohistam jattam punarjanma jaya. So that is the highest knowledge. Highest knowledge is to conquer over the death. This sort of idea, of course now it has become a story, but to conquer over the death, that was the main problem in, at least in the former Vedic civilization days. Everyone, any highly situated person in knowledge, his main business was how to conquer death. Now at the present moment, that question has become subordinate. How to conquer death. Let death there be. So long death does not come, let me enjoy and have sense gratification. That has become the standard of civilization in the present moment. But real problem is how to conquer death. They think, the scientists say, no, death is, that cannot be conquered. Set aside. Now let us prepare something, atomic bomb, so that death can be accelerated. This is scientific. Death is there. And the problem is formerly people used to think of how conquering death. But at the present moment, they are thinking, accelerating death, and they call it advancement of knowledge, advancement of science. So this is going. So practically, this is ignorance. Real solution, there is no real solution. But whatever they are doing, we are thinking that making too much advancement. But Lord Sri Krishna says that ihaiva tai jita sarga. Sarga means repetition of birth. Ichat desa samutsena sarge janti parantapa. The sarga, this repetition of birth is due to our strong desire for material enjoyment. So long we do not discard this desire of material enjoyment, so we have to take our birth repeatedly, either in the human form, or in the form of a demigod, or in the form of a tiger, or in the form of a dog or cat. There are so many forms. There are all different forms in different categories of sense gratification. So, one who has developed this transcendental knowledge of Krishna consciousness, he conquers death even in this life. Yaiva sai jita sarga jesam shamye stitah mana. Shamye means equilibrium. Equilibrium. Just a person in transcendental position, he sees equally the intelligent man and the dog equal. Intelligent man and the dog equal. A Brahmin, a dog, a cow, an elephant, and a dog eater. So all these categories, there are different categories of life, but one who is situated in the transcendental position, they do not see any difference, because in the material world, this position is higher and this position is lower. They are all simply mental speculation. Actually, unless one is not situated in the Krishna consciousness, his higher and lower calculation or so-called speculation. That's all. So, ihaivatai jita sarga jisang samye stitam man. Samye stitam, one who has cultured himself that these different activities of the material world has nothing to do with him. His only business is to become Krishna conscious. Then it is to be understood that he has conquered death even in this present life. Yai nirdosha hi samang brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. Nirdosha, this sort of equilibrium and the transcendental stage of Krishna consciousness, nirdosam, faultless, this is called faultless life. Nirdosam samang brahma, and when it is faultless or beyond the spell of the material nature, then that is the stage of Brahma. Brahma, aham brahmasmi, and the Vedic literature gives us an instruction that you are Brahma, you are not this matter. And this is the position of Brahma. How? When one is in transcendental position, nirdosam is samang Brahma, tasmad brahmani te sthita, and one who is situated in such condition of life, he is already in Brahma, Patsat, Brahmani sthita. Na prahishet. Now, what are the signs? Now, Krishna describes the symptoms of this stage. Simply, superficially, if we think that I am already in the Brahma stage of life, no, there should be symptoms. Now, here, Krishna says, the symptoms of Brahma. Simply if I say that I have now $100 million in my bank, that will not do. There must be some symptom that actually I have got. I am doing something which requires money, I am spending like that, then one can trust, oh yes, this man has got some money. Similarly, simply by understanding that I am in Brahma Sthiti, oh no, I am Brahmasmi, then I am doing all the nonsense, ordinary work. No, that is not. Here, Krishna gives the symptoms how one is situated in the Brahma situation. Na prahishet priyam prapya. When one is situated in Brahma conception of life, a Krishna consciousness life, suppose all of a sudden he gets some $100 million. Suppose he is a poor man, but all of a sudden, and there was a case there are many cases. In India there was a case in Calcutta, one, what is called, the caretaker of the horse, what is it called? What is his name? Groom. Yes. He, with his master, purchased some lottery ticket, and the master did not get anything, but the groom, he got some 10 lakhs rupees or something like that. His name was there. So when he was informed by the master, oh, you have got this money, he at once held his heart and died. So he thought, oh, so much money I have got. So thinking that, there was heart failure in that. Yes, all of a sudden this happens, you see. It is a shock. Just like we get some horrible shock. So this is pleasure shock. This is pleasure shock, because he was a poor man, ordinary man. When he understood that I have got $10 million in my bank now, oh, he becomes shocked at once that. So here, the same thing. One who is actually in the stage of equilibrium, na prahishet priyam prapta. Suppose something, there are, in our present stage of life, although we may be situated in a transcendental position, still, so long this material body is there, we are materially connected. Under the circumstances, there are so many wants, so many, requisition, that is quite possible. But one who is actually situated in the transcendental position, na prahishet priyam prapta, is something favorable, God. He does not become too much happy. He thinks, all right, by Krishna's grace, I have got this, let me engage it in the Krishna's service. Because he has dedicated his life. He dedicated his life. He does not claim anything. Everything Krishna's property. So if something is obtained, achieved, some favorable thing, he engages that thing in the service of the Lord. Na prahishet priyam prapta. That is his happiness. That is his happiness. That's like family man. Whatever he earns, if he can spend for the family, then he becomes happy. Because his affection is there in the family. Similarly, some great man of the country, if he can give some service to the people, to the country, he feels happy. Similarly, a man who is in Krishna consciousness, if he gets some opportunity to serve more, accelerantly in the service of the Lord, then he feels happy. But not materially. Na prahishet priyam prapta, no vijet prapta cha priyam. This is our disease. In the material conception of life, we do not want what is unfavored, but we want simply favor. But the laws of nature, they are so cruel that they enforce upon us unfavorable things. But one who is transcendentally realized, he does not care for the unfavorable or the favorable. He knows that when the time will come, either the favorable things will come or unfavorable things will come in the law of nature. Let me be engaged in my own business, Krishna consciousness. Yes. Shira buddhi asanamura brahmamed brahmani sthita. Shira buddhi. He is steady. He is steady in his conclusion. He is not changing. Steady in his conclusion. Asanamura. Asanamura means he is not bewildered. Brahma-vid, because he knows what is Brahma. And Brahmani sthita, and he is situated in Brahma. Sthira buddhi rasana mudha, Brahma-vid, Brahmani sthitaha, Bahya sparsheshu asaktatma, vindati atmani jat sukham, sa Brahma yoga yuktatma, sukham akham ashnute. Now, the one who is situated in that transcendental position, he is not attached. Bahya sparsheshu asaktatma. Those who are materially situated, they take pleasure outside, which is in contact with my senses. In contact with my senses. And the highest contact of senses in the material world is the sex contact. So, now one who is situated in this Brahman, he has no connection with the external things and enjoy with the sense attachment. Bahya sparsha. Sparsha means touch, and bahya means external. So he is not interested in such sort of happiness. Bahya sparsheshu asakta. He is detached. He is detached from. He is Atma. He is, Atma means mind, Atma means body, and Atma means soul. So you take either way, either body, soul or mind. He is detached from such external. He is not attached to that external happiness. Vindati atmani jasukam. He enjoys within himself. Enjoys within him. That is real happiness. This word Rama, we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Rama, the Rama means that unlimited enjoyment in real happiness. There is another meaning of Rama. Rama, Lord Rama, that is all right. And also some grammatical meaning that Rama means Ramante. Ramante means to enjoy. So there is a verse in Bhagavad. Ramante yogina anante satyanande chidatmani iti ramapade nasu parabrahma iti avidhiyat. Ramante yogina. Yogina means those who are advancing in spiritual science and advancing in Krishna consciousness, they are called yogi. The Ramante yogina, the yogina, they take pleasure. Satyananda. Satyananda means an actual happiness. Because the living entity, he is Satchidananda Vigraha. Happiness, his prerogative. He cannot, why shall he be put into misery? That is not his position. He should be always in happiness. So their happiness, we do not know here. In the material conception of life, we do not know what is happiness. So those who are yogi, those who are transcendentalists, advanced in spiritual life, they know what is happiness. The Ramante yogina anante. Anante, happiness means which has no end. That is happiness. According to Vedic literature, happiness has no end, unlimited happiness. Here in the material world, whatever we consider happiness, that is limited, that has its end. But spiritual happiness is calculated just like spirit is unlimited. Similarly, spiritual happiness is also unlimited. So, Ramante Yogina Anante Satyananda. Satyananda means real happiness. Satyanande, and what is that Satyanande? Chidatmani, Chit. Chit means knowledge, and Atma. When the Atma is developed in full knowledge of Krishna consciousness, that sort of happiness is real happiness. Vajjasparseshu asakta, asaktatma, vindati atmani. Atmani means with the soul, with the super soul, the relation between the soul and the super soul. That is kala. That is the rasa dance. You have heard about Krishna's rasa dance. That is happiness. And in the field of the spiritual platform, that happiness is realized. So, sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham aksham asmite. Aksham means that does not pass away, not flickering. Not flickering. Here in the material world, all happiness, the so-called happiness, they are all flickering. They come and go. Therefore, one who is transcendentally situated, he does not care for happiness or distress, because he knows either this happiness or this distress, it has appeared and it will go. It will go. So why I shall be destroyed with distress also? Because this is the nature of this world. Just like snowfall in your country, and now we are expecting snowfall. But last year there was snowfall, it has gone out. Again they are coming. So anything of this world, they come and go, they come and go. So you shall not be disturbed. And in Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna advised Arjuna that matra sparshastu konteya sitoshna sukha dukkhada agamo paina anityatan sitikkhasya bharat. Even there are distress in this material world, we should learn to tolerate, because these are ephemeral. There is not neither real distress, neither real. We should be careless either of this happiness or distress. So someone who is like that, sab brahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam. Akshayam means who does not deteriorate. That sort of happiness he enjoys. Jehi sanasparsajab hoga dukkha jona evate. And one who is attached with the touchstone, I mean the sense touch, that he must know that he is inviting miseries of life. He is inviting miseries of life. Jehi sanasparsajab hoga. Any enjoyment which is derived out of the touch of the senses, we should know that is meant for our miserable life. Jehi sanasparsajab hoga dukkha juna evate. Dukkha juna means then in future I will have to suffer for that. Therefore self-control is very essential in the material advancement, in the spiritual advancement of life. Sanasparja, the happiness derived, material happiness derived out of the touch of senses. It is clearly stated here that dukkha junaya, they are the mother of all miseries. Mother of all miseries. There are so many instances, and in Bhagavad also we have got a very nice slow verse. It was spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. Janmaithanadigrahamedi sukham mitucham kanduyanena karayo rivadukha dukkham. He said that in this material world, the people are thinking that they are happy. Why? Because they have that sex happiness. Janmaithanadigrahamedi sukham mitucham. And what is that sex happiness? It is kanduyanena karayo rivadukha dukkham. Suppose you have got some eaters in your hand and you eat it very according to your satisfaction, then after the effect of such eating is very hard. So similarly, this is a kind of eating sensation. So, kartrtvam manasija visayeta dhira. So one who wants to cure this eater, he should be a little tolerant. And then he will be cured of this itching. Then eating, if you stop eating, then it automatically cures. Similarly, the sparshaja sukham, the happiness which is enjoyed by sense touch, that is dukkha juna. Lord Sri Krishna says that is generating distress, dukkha juna evate. Adyantavanta kaunteya natesu ramate buddha. Oh, no. And somebody may say, no, this is very good happiness. But Krishna says, that is distress in the beginning and that is distress at the end. Kaunteya natesu ramate buddha. Therefore, those who are intelligent, they refrain from such happiness. They refrain from such. Addo anta avanta. In the beginning also, for arrangement of sex life, there is so many distress, and at the end also, there is so many distress. So, sense gratification, they should be, so long we are in this material world, there is need, but that should be regulated. That should not be extravagant or unrestricted. Then we call for distance. That is the instance of Krishna. Thank you. Now there is a question.